He let his son steer the plane, even though there were 75 people on board. But the boy pushed hard on the controls, which turned off the autopilot. And even though a warning light flashed, the pilot didn't see it. Suddenly, the boy pushed the controls again, sending the plane into a nosedive. The pilot took over and managed to pull the plane up, but it climbed too steep, which caused the engine to stall. And without power, the plane plummeted to the ground, killing every single person on board. He climbed onto the table by the railing, and his friends pulled him back down. But when he did it again, people just filmed him as he jumped overboard. You see, he was at his graduation party when he was given the dare. But after someone threw him a lifesaver, he swam away, disappearing into the ocean. Now, the ship was in an area usually filled with aggressive sharks, and when the video of him jumping was posted online, people started to notice a dark, blurry shape near him. The crew searched for 2 days, but he was never found. He let his son steer the plane, even though there were 75 people on board. But the boy pushed hard on the controls, which turned off the autopilot. And even though a warning light flashed, the pilot didn't see it. Suddenly, the boy pushed the controls again, sending the plane into a nosedive. The pilot took over and managed to pull the plane up, but it climbed too steep, which caused the engine to stall. And without power, the plane plummeted to the ground, killing every single person on board. A polygon has straight lines, connected together by sides and corners, forming an enclosed space. But since all of the lines are straight, they can only touch at one point, or lay on top of each other. And on paper, the smallest one you can make is a triangle with 3 sides. If you remove one and try to make it with only 2 sides, both lines would have to sit on top of each other, which would leave no space between them, meaning it wouldn't be a polygon. But in 3D, if you draw those same 2 straight lines on a sphere, each line curves with the surface, just like airplane paths curve around the Earth. Now, the 2 lines can meet at one point, travel around the sphere, and meet again on the other side. And those 2 points would create a closed space between them, making a real 2-sided polygon. Placed the bodies in the water, with their arms tucked in and knees pulled close. Then they placed long wooden stakes around each of them to pin them to the bottom of the bog. This was so the water didn't push them back to the surface, which prevented animals from eating them. Once the bodies settled, a thick layer of dead plants sealed them in like a lid, blocking out air and light and preventing the bodies from decaying. But 8,000 years later, a construction crew hit a human skull. Archaeologists arrived and uncovered 168 burials. They were so well preserved that their stomachs still held their last meals. Their skulls still held chunks of their brain, their bones were still wrapped in burial cloth, and their bodies kept the curled shape they were buried in 8,000 years ago. If you crack an egg on the rim of a pan, the shell can cave inward and splinter deep inside, and once they fall into the egg white, you would have to pick out every tiny piece of shell. But if you crack it on a flat surface, the pressure spreads out evenly. The membrane stays intact underneath the shell, holding the cracks in place, and your thumbs slip into the crack and open it without pushing the shell inside. But if you just drop the egg straight down from a few inches, the force spreads across the whole shell at once, making a perfect split with almost no fragments. The robber fired the gun directly towards the man's hip, but he had his phone in his pocket, protected inside a Hulk case. The bullet slammed into the phone, the screen shattered instantly, but the phone and case absorbed the shot, stopping it before going through the back of the phone. So even though the case didn't protect the phone, it kept the bullet from breaking the bone beneath. You set it to the number 5. A gear gets moved into place on the internal cylinder, and when you turn the main handle, the steps on the cylinder rotate the gear, which shows the number on the top of the calculator. Now, if you want to add 3 and 5 together, you choose 3 on the barrel, and when you turn the handle, it adds 3 more steps, showing the answer on top. Now, if you want to multiply 538 by 200, you can set the first number on the barrel, then change the place value above it, with 1 being single numbers, 2 being tens, 3 being hundreds, and so on. So to multiply it 200 times, you just set the place value to 3, and then turn the handle twice to give you the answer. If you tried to surf on a tsunami, you might think that you could ride it for miles, but tsunamis don't curl like surf waves. Instead, they shoot up like a wall of water, swirling with rocks and dead animals. By the time it hits land, it can also carry entire trees and buildings. So even if you were an Olympic surfer, you would still be dragged under the water. She crashed her truck right into a beehive, making a massive swarm of angry bees burst out and attack her. Now, a neighbor heard her screams and ran to alert her parents who lived nearby. They rushed in to pull her away, but the bees turned on them too, stinging them hundreds of times until they collapsed. They were taken to the hospital, and the mother was left severely injured, while the woman and her father passed away, all because of a single beehive.
Zack films TV show eating. Is not on TikTok.
When an astronaut poops in space, their waste could be taken and mixed with special microbes, and these would eat the solids, releasing gas as they go. The gas could then be used to feed bacteria, which would multiply quickly. And since the whole thing would be heated to almost 160 degrees, it would kill any germs left from the poop. Next, the bacteria could be collected and turned into a paste, which astronauts would eat. This would save room on the spacecraft by turning their own poop into food. He slipped from the harness on the tallest free fall in the world, falling 100 feet to the ground below. You see, when he got on, the harness didn't fit, but instead of refusing him, the operator adjusted the harness to give him extra room. The ride climbed to over 400 feet before suddenly dropping at 75 miles an hour. But the extra space meant the harness wasn't secure, and the boy slipped through the gap. Tragically, he died from his injuries, all because of a simple mistake. He was leaving a job interview when he saw the stroller rolling towards traffic. You see, a strong wind had yanked it away from the woman, who fell when she tried to grab it. But the man started sprinting and caught it just seconds before it hit traffic. Now, he had been homeless for years, but after the video went viral, the company called him to tell him he got the job. Soon, other companies began to reach out too, finally giving him the fresh start he deserved.
Allah Akbar.
As they arrived at the Airbnb, he tried to connect to the Wi-Fi, but he noticed a network called IP camera. Now, the man was actually an IT professional, so he knew the network was suspicious. And when he managed to connect to it, what he saw shocked him. It was a video stream of his family in real time. They tracked it down to a fake smoke alarm and realized the host was recording their every move. They left immediately, staying in a hotel instead. But when they reported it, Airbnb did nothing. So they posted it on social media, and after it went viral, Airbnb finally apologized, refunding their cash and banning the creepy host.